welcome back to my channel. So I know I've been missing for a little minute, but I'm coming back with another video. Like I told y'all, I'm trying to get this together. So you guys, today what we're going to be discussing, I'm trying to bring up my notes, but what we'll be discussing, I can't even bring up my notes. Okay, I got it. Okay, so today we're going to be discussing the Porsha Family Values and all of the lessons that we learned from her having her spinoff. I'm going to give a small portion of my opinion first, and then I'm going to get into like what I thought like were the takeaways from it. So you guys have watched other people review each episode all the way from the beginning to the end. Because I jumped into doing these type of videos so late, I'm not going to review anything, but I will be talking about like things that I took away from the spinoff. So hope you guys enjoy these lesson learned videos or takeaways, because my last video did kind of good with the views. So, and I did get some more subscribers, so thank you so much for subscribing to me. If you have, you gotta support small YouTubers. I subscribe to all of them, small and large, but that's neither here nor there. The first thing that I wanted to say is I don't think it's a good idea that Porsha did a spinoff. Reason being is because we got to see Porsha in another light, how she can kind of be controlling of her narrative a little bit, especially with her having her own show, spinoff show. So that's the first thing that I will say about how I felt about the entire thing, because I was just like, as we got to see some portions of it, we did get to see her kind of try to control the narrative, and I don't know, I just didn't think Porsha was like that. But let's go ahead and get into my takeaways, what I took away from the entire spinoff. And I'll probably be doing it for Candy's spinoff too. I'll be watching because I'm just kind of getting bored with reality TV, so I'm trying to spunk myself up to like really get back into watching it. So nevertheless, like the first thing that I took away from the series was moving on without closure. Like that was the biggest thing, because like one of the first episodes described how her and Simon got to this point where they're engaged so quickly, so prematurely. But not only that, it got to the point where we brought in Dennis and how he felt, and I think he described it to like where it was like a December Christmas. I don't know if he said 2020. I want to say he said 2020 Christmas. They were together. They spent Christmas together. They had on matching outfits. Everything was fine as far as he knew. All of a sudden, March of 2021 or April 2021, that's when he found out that she was engaged to Simon. So that's not a long time frame. I'm not telling her that she has to wait I would never tell a woman that she has to wait if she's ready to go on and continue dating, or even on going on and marrying someone, because everybody don't need years and years to know if they want to marry or be engaged or whatever. So a lot of guys don't need that, but I'm just saying that's not a big time frame between the breakup supposedly with Dennis and how he makes it seem as though there was never really a breakup. It was kind of like I'm gonna say there was never really closure. That's what I'm gonna say. It was never really closure between him and her. It was kind of like a break, and then her and Simon. So I do press the fact of having closure. I always press the fact of having closure out after my relationships. Reason being is because you don't want to bring anyone into drama or to like leftover hanging feelings from your exes or any of those type of things, because you create these type of dramas that made Porsha Family Values. So I always push this narrative, but like I said, I'm going to be doing dating videos and also relationship videos as well. And I feel like I can kind of speak on it. I'm 35 and I've had all types of relationships except for abusive. I just don't condone abuse relationships, period. That just makes me I'm gonna say it's a blessing, because I know a lot of people who have been in those situations, whether it was one time, 10 times, whatever. But we'll get into my relationship history and how, I got to the point where I am now. But I do feel like on the outside looking in, there was just some things that weren't like cleared up from the last situation with Dennis. So moving on without closure, especially when you have a child, is very important. Like, I feel like that's very important, and that's it. Number 2, the idea of getting over a man by getting under a new one. I have had so many people say this, and I don't know why I feel as though there was possibly this type of talk that was given to Porsha, but it never solves a problem by getting under a new man. Sometimes it does, but like most of the time it doesn't. It hasn't done it for me. It does not work. It has put me in more of a strain than anything, like, because my emotions kind of shift to the new person, but I also end up viewing the new person like I view the last person, especially if they do like the exact same things the last person did. It just does not work. I recommend taking a break. It doesn't matter if it's a month break or a 2-month or 3-month. You just have to detach yourself from people before. So this idea of telling people, hey, don't worry about it. I wouldn't even worry about it. I'll just go ahead and move on and give me another man, and thinking that it's something that is going to be like getting under a new man. I feel like this is some like older generation talk, because I don't even want to say this is older generation talk, because I have had some friends who have said things like this, and that may very well be true for some people, but it just does not feel like, for me, I would feel okay with that. I feel like if a new man came into my life at the right time, that's fine, but just going and searching and seeking a new relationship after getting out of one is just not the thing. Like, no. The next thing I noticed was her family supported some of her toxicity, specifically her mom. I want to say Lauren and the cousin, I can't remember her name, and a few of the other family members, the aunt, were not very supportive of the toxicity. They kind of called Porsha out on some of her stuff, and they kind of held her foot to the fire on some of the stuff. But I definitely feel as though her mom was like, no, agreeing with her. And I just don't feel like that's a good idea, because you pacify people when you hold, like, you don't say anything or you agree with them. And I feel like that pacifying has held Porsha in this relationship turmoil, from marriage to marriage, from situation to situation. And so I just feel as though that wasn't very helpful for her. And even though my siblings or my family will tell me, give me advice, I feel as though they are being genuine with their advice. Like, they don't let me, like, if they don't feel something, or if they feel like I need to change my mind about something, they're really good at being transparent with me. And this is helping me along with my relationships. So I definitely feel as though her mom being very I don't want to say her mom is being toxic. I just feel like she's not telling Porsha, hey, this is not a good idea. But I have to remember that her mom was in a toxic situation with Porsha's dad. So you can't teach someone that something that you haven't, specifically gotten yet. So, but, and not to say that her mom hasn't learned a lesson, but it's just more so like, I just feel as though she should be told more that, hey, this is the right way to do this, those type of things. Okay. Number 4, co-parenting. Oh my God. Specifically, my advice, my opinion, I don't co-parent because I don't co-parent. Okay. My daughter is old enough to talk to her father by herself without me being involved. And also, when it comes down to co-parenting, it takes 2 very mature people to do it. I feel as though Dennis is willing to co-parent, but I feel as though Porsha is not ready for that. I feel like she wants to have this perfect idea of a blended family, but that is not going to happen the way she wants it, because the way that she handled the situation from day one was not correct. So you have to look at co-parenting as something with 2 people who are very mature, because if you have one person who's not over the relationship or not over you, it's going to cause chaos, which makes Porsha Family Values. And I do believe by looking, I don't know if there was intent on making it very aware that Porsha is not over Dennis, because that's what I felt like. I saw a lot of her not wanting him to bring dates around, people around, and I just feel as though there is some kind of hold that he still has over her. Not like he's holding her, but it's like she's staying in this connection for some reason. It will be interesting to see where the relationship has gone now, because ending the season, we did see that they didn't end it on a good note. They were talking about court. And that's when I know court is one of those things where when people most of the time feel like the feelings are there, so they can't work it out. So you have to get a mediator to work it out. So, yeah, co-parenting is very hard, especially when you don't have 2 mature-minded people doing it. So that's a takeaway that I personally saw, is that the co-parenting can't work because the relationship was so toxic that and they really didn't have a lot of time apart before this type of blending that they were trying to do during the entire season. But number 5, choosing who you have kids by very wisely. This is no disrespect to Porsha or Dennis, but this is a very, very cautionary tale of choosing who you have kids by, in order to know what type of situation. Because had I really thought about things like 10 years ago before my daughter was born, yes, I possibly would have thought a little bit more about having her. I'm not regretting having her at all. She has made me mature myself. I've learned life lessons through having her and through carrying her and through being a single parent. However, I do feel as though Porsha has, when it comes to both of them, there are some things that both of them are not really mature on, even though they're older. Like they're not mature on the fact of knowing that it's not about your personal feelings towards each other, it's about the child. And I think that that's going back to a little bit back to co-parenting, because if you can't see yourself, if you say, okay, well, we're engaged right now, and I look at all scenarios, if I ever had to disengage myself from this person and we are no longer a couple, or we get a divorce, or we break up or whatever, and it's for good, how would I handle, or how would I feel like this person would handle being a co-parent to our child together? I started to think about that after I had my daughter, and now 10 years later I haven't had another child, because I am very cautious about having children with people that may or may not be able to do the co-parenting thing and let it just be that if the relationship can't work out. And this is what I'm starting to see, like I said, with the Porsha situation. Cautionary tale. Okay, the last and final thing that I have as a takeaway is the idea of whatever happens in this house stays in this house. That part of quieting the family, kind of telling them, hey, we're not going to talk about the issue of last night. This has been an issue in the Black community for so long, and this is why people feel so scared to come out and talk about things that happened to them when they were kids, childhood trauma, therapy, scared to go to therapy. These are things that people push into your head to make you feel as though you're unloyal, or you're a snitch, or you're not being loyal to the family if you go and do these things. And I feel as though this is what Porsha has pushed onto them. Even when production tried to say something about it, say, hey, we need to talk about it because it happened on camera. We have it on camera. We're going to probably put it. We're not going to snip this part out, so we probably need to talk about it. She was kind of like, yeah, we can talk about it a little bit, I just definitely feel as though the fight with Dennis's mom and Porsha was very... I'm trying to figure out a good word to say without saying it. It was very ratchet. It was ratchet to fight with the older woman and with his mom, because at the end of the day, that's still your child's grandmother, and he's still your child's father. I mean, there's no way that... It takes a long time to repair relationships like that. So it's so hard to speak on it because there's a child involved. But it's also like, hey, you need to chill. This is an ongoing relationship that you guys will have to have with that family at least for 18 years. But most likely you're going to have it throughout the rest of your life because that's your child and that's the father. I mean, regardless of whether we say 18 years or not, people don't stop parenting at 18 years. That's just... my mom did not stop parenting at 18. She stopped parenting when she left this earth. So we have to understand that parenting is a lifetime thing, and if you're going to be in that child's life, you're going to have to deal with each other. And fighting or trying to put your hands on the other person, that is something that you always have to live with. So it's kind of like, I hope they get it together. I'm not sure if we'll see another season of this, but these are my takeaways. These are things that I see as life lessons. And I don't think, like I said, again, I don't think it was a good idea that Porsha went and did a spinoff. Not this type of spinoff. Because there were so many unresolved issues that had not been resolved. Yes, it's good for TV when it comes to drama, but when it comes to real life, people are starting to look at character now, especially, things that we have seen on camera, and then you're going and saying that it didn't happen. So it kind of the audience starts to question, did it happen, or are we just, So I haven't seen very many reviews on this show. I haven't even watched that many reviews. But I do feel as though if you do want to see any of the reviews, the funniest ones that I would suggest would be from Scotty by Nature. He's from my hometown, and he's blowing up on YouTube. So I would suggest going and seeing him. I'll put his channel information in the description. That's where I've seen one or two of his reviews. But otherwise, I just watched them on my own and kind of tried to see how I felt about the entire spinoff, so that I could give my full, opinion. Even though a lot of people are saying the same thing for the most part, I'm sure we all saw the same thing. It was just, yeah. it wasn't time to do blended family. We should have waited a couple of more months. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It looks like you guys enjoyed the one about Arionne Curry. I want to wait till a lot of the stuff died down so you guys can get my point of view of the takeaways. And I hope if you guys enjoy these types of videos, I will continue to do them and also try to start doing reviews. Yeah, but like reviewing videos reviewing shows. But I'm into all of it. Like, I love watching people review them. For this show, I kind of tried to not watch as many because I knew that I wanted to start this process of doing what I'm doing now, so that I can, kind of have like my own point of view instead of snipping away at other people's point of view, which we all pretty much saw the same thing. We all pretty much feel the same. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video again, and I hope that if you did, you will hit the like button, and also go ahead and subscribe if you haven't. More videos are coming soon, and I will see you guys next time.